What is your never again brand, item, store, or restaurant? Soon after she left me in 1998, my ex-wife wanted to meet for a post-mortem conversation. I suggested we meet at Pizzeria Uno. About 20 minutes into our agonizing conversation, she looked around and said, "Wait. You hate Pizzeria Uno?" I replied, "I sure do. I'm not going to ruin a place that I like with terrible memories. I'm never entering a Pizzeria Uno again." Double quote. And I haven't. AT&T from back in the days of long distance said they'd get me a good rate to Thailand, which we call all the time. Bill comes and it's 10x the advertised rate. I call. The first guy can't fix the bill. I escalate to a manager. He says, "You are correct. I'll fix your bill." Double quote. Next day he calls back and says, "We've decided not to fix your bill." Planet Fitness. Manager called me after I had emailed about an issue and left a voicemail. Except when he hung up, he missed the receiver and I was treated to 2 minutes of him trash talking me. Called back and said, "Yep. Go ahead and cancel that membership and next time make sure you hang up." Fuck those chain gyms. I'm having trouble believing that this happened. Not because of you telling them off or anything. There's just no way that a large chain gym would let you cancel a membership without a lot more frustration than that. Sprint. Couple of years ago they let someone buy over $2,000 worth of phones in my mom's name. Didn't ask for ID or anything. They got an address but it was off by a couple of numbers. My mom didn't notice for a couple of months when her credit got flagged when they were trying to get approved for a loan or something. She fought with Sprint to get the charges removed from her credit. We've never had Sprint before so don't know how that was a massive oversight, especially with no ID and the wrong address. Ohio Savings Bank. They charged me $300 over the span of a year because, unlike normal debit cards, every time I put my PIN in instead of signing, it charged me an extra $1.50. By the time I caught it, most of the charges were past the 30-day refund policy, so they gave me $10 as a refund. I didn't make a fuss because I know it's not the worker's fault, but I did withdraw all my money immediately and switched banks. FCK that place. I'm from a small town and we had one credit union that offered debit cards in my area. I had the same issue where I was charged $1 every time I used a PIN. It never made me hate a credit union more. Wells Fargo. 1. Fake account scandal. 2. Auto loan insurance scandal. 3. Mortgage loan scandal. Number 1. Changing customer terms. 4. Mortgage loan scandal. Number 2. 2008. 5. PPP loan scandal. We got our mortgage from a local bank that we liked. And that bank immediately turned around and sold the mortgage to Wells Fargo. I intended never to use them for anything after all this shady shit happened. And now they own my mortgage. Bonifant bottled water in Mexico. It is very rare that I buy water bottles at all. But when I do, I actively avoid that brand even if it's cheaper. Reason? Was my first ever 2-minute unskippable ad on YouTube years ago. Edit. As some of you have pointed out, 2 minutes is unlikely and thinking about it, it was probably a 30 seconds ad. Still, I'm being petty over the unskippable feature rather than the length. Greyhound bus. If you've got no other option, buckle up. It's going to get weird. Yup, no AC. Busted bathroom. Large and washed masses crammed uncomfortably close. Broken down buses. Abandoning you outside of laundromat bus stations. I've seen it all. As an adult I will never ever get on a Greyhound again. Spirit Airlines. The one time my family has flown Spirit there was a crushed taco salad in the pull down desk. And the whole plane smelled vaguely like baby powder. The whole plane smelled vaguely like baby powder. That smell just gets everywhere. I'm told it's good for covering up the smell of poop. Which may be why I think I'd rather get on a flight that was baby powder scented than a poop plane. The local Chinese buffet after violent food poisoning. I'm usually all for trying different foods, but every time I've gone to a buffet makes me not want to go again. except for one that was actually good. But they were small and went bankrupt soon thereafter. Skullcandy headphones. Bought a pair once. They broke. Got them replaced. They broke. Got them replaced. They broke. Gave up. Didn't do anything out of the ordinary with them. I'd pull them apart to bits to place them over my head and snap. 2 pieces. I used to have a Skullcandy gaming headset for my Xbox 360. The cable to the little mic toggle and volume switch broke. They were outside of warranty. Called around to a few stores and got a definitive answer. Ordering another one of those cables would cost me about the same as buying a new headset. So I bought the same headset and in under a month the same thing happened. Returned it to the store. Got the same one again. Broken straight out of the box. Haven't touched anything made by them in close to 5 years now. Dodge Ram. Bought new. Had all service and oil changes done at the dealership. Paid above the monthly note and managed to pay it off about 6 months early. At 5 years / 47k miles it throws a rod. Took the issue all the way up the chain. Was told that because the note was paid off, that we got our money's worth on the truck. Our expectation that our truck should function beyond the length of the loan was unrealistic. FCK Dodge. Never again. Samsung for putting menu ads on my TV that I paid for. Longhorn Steakhouse. Reason. All but 2 people in our party, of 15 people, got horrid food poisoning. Mine was so bad that I threw out my back from vomiting and retching. And couldn't take pain medicine without throwing it up. So I couldn't sleep because of having intense stomach and back pain that lasted the week. DoorDash. When 50% of my orders never made it to me. And one of the drivers cusses me out for having the audacity to ask for my food. They go on the never again list. Same. I knew it wasn't just that I had bad luck almost every time. Waiting 3 hours for food delivery is completely ridiculous. Half the food gone. Wrong order. And cold. I tried that app like 5 times, enough to give it a fair assessment I think. Edit. Just looked back on my history and it was literally 4/5 times I had to be refunded. Different delivery person each time. Yours Clothing. I got 3 hoodies for UACUDE 72 plus UACUDE 5 delivery and they were the lowest possible quality you could imagine. Paper thin fabric and some sort of light plastic zipper. On 2 of the hoodies the zips were broke. The other one was on backwards. There was no design. Just plain, but the coloring was off and some parts of it didn't look the same as they did on their online pics. One of them wasn't even the same size as the other 2 despite the label saying it was. That one also had some issue on the front. I took them back for a refund and the shop assistants were pretty shitty about it as well. I had to email if I wanted delivery refunded because they wouldn't do it in store. After all of that I kept getting harassed by marketing texts even though in my account I unsubscribed from everything. Planet Fitness. Moved back to my home state from SF. Forgot to cancel my membership. Tried from the app. Nope. Tried from my local Planet Fitness. Nope. Said I had to mail in a copy of my license and proof of membership. So I cancelled that credit card because that was easier than getting my membership cancelled. I lived a few miles away and they told me that I cannot cancel over the phone or on the website. When they made me come in personally to cancel, the woman at the desk whined why when I said I was there to cancel my membership. A grown woman. Nestle. They actively push baby formulas in poor third world areas where water is commonly contaminated and parents don't make enough money to buy enough formula to feed an infant. Nestle knows that the use of their products result in higher infant mortality rates due to dysentery and disease. But they refuse to stop. I haven't bought anything from Nestle in over 20 years. Denny's. They spend too much time making high quality shit posts on Tumblr and not enough time on making sure that the food comes out in less than an hour when less than a quarter of the tables are full. This definitely seems like a location thing. When I hear people complain about Denny's, it's never about the wait. I feel like I always get my food too quick. They keep Chef Mike busy. The classiest of the 2 AM feasts so happen at Denny's though. Temptations cat treats. There's something in those things that turn cats into absolute junkies. One of my cats refused to eat normal food for days on end because of those damn treats. Victoria's Secret. Overpriced for meh quality. I worked at Versus for about a year a long time ago. Was always bothered by the fact that any clothing returned was put right back out on the floor. Bras. Underwear. All of it. Haven't shopped there since. Always Infinity. Worst pads I've ever used in my life. I've never had so much trouble with them getting bunched up, moving out of place, sticking to me, leaking, etc. than I did when I used those for a while. The two major period gear brands where I live are Always and Libresse, aka body form in some countries. I think. Every single time I succumbed to their marketing or a sale and used an Always product I hated it. Libresse, on the other hand, has never let me down. Plus, at one point you could get these cool tins to carry 2-3 pads in your bag. They came in all sorts of designs and are super practical. I still own 3 of them years later and now use them to carry face masks. Epson printers. Fuck them in the ass with a cyan colored cock. Fuck you too Comcast Horsefinity or whatever. I'll suck a DCK on Broadway before I ever give you sh*t eaters a penny. FedEx. Complete. Utter. Absolute shit. Every single time. I had FedEx leave one of their you and home so we didn't leave the thing sticky notes once when I had been sitting in my living room all day. Driver just didn't want to carry it up the stairs, I guess. So he just snuck up to the door and put the note on instead. GMC. Make it so that you have to take your whole front end off to change a headlight bulb. Air Canada. I am convinced their motto is, "We're not happy until you're unhappy." I tripped while disembarking. 3 flight attendants laughed and did not come to help me. I had blood dripping down my face and they saw it. They said nothing. Edit. I forgot about another event. My chair was reclined. There was a very small woman behind me. If she had been any bigger I probably would not have reclined. I'm not an asshole. I was watching a movie. The flight attendant came up to me and told me to set my seat up straight because we were landing. Turns out, that was not the case. The woman just asked the flight attendant to make me move up because I was annoying her. Generic American cheese slices from Walgreens. Dog needed medication. We typically encase it in some yummy soft American cheese. Kraft was like $5. Ouch. No Name was $1 for 16 slices. Sold. Kraft slices also make a damn fine grilled cheese sandwich on the cheap. Except that the dog wouldn't touch it. Like actively turned away and refused to go near it. We had to get white slices when we went to the store next time because he needed to forget the yellow ones. It was that bad. Not me, but my dad. He refuses to eat at Subway ever again because when we broke a chocolate chip cookie in half to share, a long strand of hair came out from inside one of the chocolate chips. Applebee's. I work in liquor and wine distribution. And I remember a few years ago Applebee's rolled out $1 Long Island's as a happy hour feature. $1 for one of the strongest drinks in existence. Once the alcoholics found out, they pivoted to there. It was a disaster. Those people don't order food. They just drink. Edit. I should say that. Yes. I know they're weak as hell. But advertising anything at $1 is basically sending out the bat signal to alcoholics who are looking for the cheapest drink they can get. And yes, you get what you pay for. And it attracts exactly the crowd you don't want. Smoky Bones. I ordered a loaded nachos from them recently. It arrived. It was basically a pile of plain corn chips with maybe a tablespoon of cheese sauce. It included several tiny tablespoon portions of salsa, tomatoes, jalapenos, and sour cream. This was $13.00. Total waste of money. I will never order from them again. Primark. Never mind the way the clothing is produced or the way personnel is treated. I have a deep hate towards their store. Always busy with screaming teenage girls and a chaotically laid out. I don't mind the screaming teenage girls or the chaotic layout. However, go in Primark for more than 5 minutes and you get warm. Doesn't matter what you're wearing. Now add the screaming girls and the chaos and the frustration and you're just about ready to headbutt every living thing in a quarter-mile radius. FCK Primark. Ashley Furniture. Tried to use the extra protection plan we brought for our sofa that broke. They picked it up and then they tried to deliver it back to the wrong address 4 goddamn times. We were without a sofa for a month and a half when we were told us it would be 7 days because they couldn't figure out how to update our f-king address. I literally had to go into a physical location because their phone customer service just couldn't figure out how to update a simple address and it was literal insanity. I wish I was exaggerating. Game of Thrones. This franchise is dead to me. I couldn't care less about any new books coming out. Lol. Prequels. Sequel. Cosplays. It's pointless. It's cruel. It's burnt. I'm old AF now. But when my kids needed tea catchers I thought off-brand diapers would work. Just a big nope. Sometimes you get what you pay for. Olive Garden. Wife's chicken parm sandwich had an expiration sticker still stuck to the bottom of it. Shows you how freshly made everything is. AT&T happily dumped their ass when I moved out of a complex that had a contract restricting tenants from using anything but AT&T. Forgot to mail my router back to them, never mentioned on the cancellation call, and was suddenly overdrafted because they still had my bank details. This scum tier company then told me that they could not place the money back into my Twixking account and I would have to wait 3 f-king months for a Visa gift card with a total of my refund. Politely raised hell to anyone they put me on with and no one could do a thing other than fail to explain why they could direct deposit out my account but somehow could not put money back in. Hope deviant ghouls that run the business fail into homelessness. I am not kidding. FCK the people who run that shithole. Yellow cab. The driver ran out of gas on HWY 59 in Houston at 3:00 in the morning, which is a major road in a not so good area. He left my friend and I on the side of the road for an hour while he walked to get gas twice since it still didn't start after the first trip. In the midst of all this I called Yellow Cab multiple times asking for another vehicle to pick us up only to be hung up on. After we finally got to my apartment he requested full payment. I said FCKU and offered $20 and that was all he was getting. Ended up getting into a massive cutting argument with this guy before he finally took the money and left. I haven't. Nor will I ever use them again. Home Advisor. I'd swear it is just advertisements with fake reviews. I got a horrible contractor for a kitchen through them. It took over a year. They had 4.8 stars and hundreds of reviews on HA. They lost their BBB status in the process. I had to get the state to threaten their license. Just to get them to finish. NRMA. Car insurance. When I got hit in an intersection they gave me a below market rate rather than agreed value. Then wouldn't let me keep the wreck and all the aftermarket parts. Big tires. Good panels etc. Wouldn't let me buy the wreck. Told me I'd have to bid on it at auction but never said when it went to auction. Made the whole process arduous and painful. Saw my car on Gumtree a few weeks later and some guy was selling my tires for twice what I was paid out. Amazon Fire Stick. Always troubleshooting 3-month warranty for obvious reasons. And their updates are on purpose to screw up your stick and force you to buy the newest one. Remote is always breaking. EA Games. Charge you full price for the game and then add on microtransactions for the fun parts, seriously. And then come on Reddit and try to justify their monetary methods only to get the most downvoted comment on Reddit of all time.